everyone, and welcome to HCA 330. This is Healthcare Administration 330, Health Information Systems. My name is Dr. Janet Bonome. I'm really excited to have you in this class with me to share the next 8 weeks with you. Each week I'll be presenting a lecture from your reading materials. Now I do this a little bit differently in my classes. I don't lecture on every single page, every bullet point in the textbook. I know that you can all read, and it's the expectation that you are all reading the assigned reading assignments. What I will do is give you additional information, maybe some topics that maybe are a little bit harder to grasp for some students. I'll be covering those in a little bit more detail. So you'll notice that if you're reading along in your textbook, my lectures might not go hand in hand, but I just want to provide that additional support information and obviously not lecture for hours and hours on every chapter. There is a lot of information to learn. So let's get started. I'm really excited that you are here with me for this entire session. And I've said before in the emails and other communications that we've had, if you have any questions through any of the material, if you're new to health informatics, if you're new to the healthcare administration major, just please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to be with you, to guide you, to support you. So please reach out for any support that I can provide for you. But let's get started this week. So again, I just want to extend a big welcome to each and every one of you in this class, whether or not you are I know we have some main campus students who are joining us for this course. The majority of us are here from the Division of Online and Professional Studies. Some of you may be brand new to the Healthcare Administration and Management major here, so I'm just really excited that you are here with me to share these next 8 weeks in this course with me. So I always like to start off, at least I do my best to start each week off with just a short devotional. I want to share this from the scripture that tells us to not only love those that we like, but also to love those who are strangers and aliens to us. Hebrews 13 tells us, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that some have entertained angels without knowing it." Most of us are used to the idea of opening our homes to family and friends, to those that we know and love. And I'm not calling you all strangers, but the fact is that we don't have a deep relationship yet, and so it's obviously my goal throughout this course to develop one with you. You may not know a single classmate in this class, or you may have other friends that you're sharing this class with. So if we're honest with ourselves, we confess that we tend to be the most comfortable and most welcoming to those we know, those who sometimes look like us and act like us. We know who we like because we like whom we know, which means that sometimes we may be closed in our expressions of hospitality to those that we don't know. So the scripture and God does tell us that we are to love all others, to welcome the stranger, because in doing so we're serving the Lord Himself. To those who served the least, the lost, and the lonely without recognizing His presence, Jesus said, "Whether you realized it or not, when you did to the least of these, you did it to me." His meaning is clear, that each of us has access to Jesus through someone who is in need. Now here we, at CBU, we obviously strive to serve every stranger, every student, every staff member, every family member that we come across. Not with magnificent deeds, but with simple things. We recognize Jesus in each one, and I recognize Jesus in each one of you. And we know we serve Him when we give food to the hungry, we give a cup of cold water to the thirsty, clothes to those who may be in rags, maybe just a listening ear to a student or a classmate who's just really going through a struggle, and maybe you're the only one that they've leaned out to. Most important of all, we share Jesus. We share the bread of life for the soul. We see Jesus in the eyes of those that we're blessed to serve. He's here, and we're honored to serve Him by serving one another. So I just welcome you to serve me, to serve your family, to serve your classmates as we share all this time together. And most importantly, just keep in mind, when we welcome the stranger, we welcome Himself. So again, welcome to this class. Hopefully in the next 8 weeks we won't be strangers, and just look forward to sharing all this time with you. Let's get started. So let's start by defining what health informatics actually is. So health informatics and you'll see it referred to in some other, some different terms: healthcare informatics, medical informatics, biomedical informatics, clinical informatics. Health informatics, in essence, is information engineering applied to the field of healthcare, essentially to the management and use of patient healthcare information. It's a multidisciplinary field. It uses healthcare information technology, you'll see that referred to as capital HIT, to improve healthcare via any combination of higher quality, higher efficiency. Healthcare executives are obviously going to be looking at spurring lower costs and greater availability and new opportunities. Health informatics plays a really critical role in the push toward healthcare reform. It's an evolving specialization. It links information technology, communication, and healthcare to improve the quality and safety of patient care. There really is a tremendous growth in the health informatics field, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about the health informatics teams. And this was really spurred in large part by the acceleration of the electronic health record, or EHR, adoption that was brought about by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Meaningful Use Incentive Program. Now, as providers and medical centers, healthcare organizations, as they move quickly to embrace EHRs, which are all designed to store and share information from all providers that are involved in a patient's care, health informatics specialists will continue to be in high demand as healthcare facilities implement these new systems. They upgrade existing databases and work toward achieving the 3 stages of meaningful use. I also want to give some definitions of a couple other terms. So let's begin by defining information management and then also information system technology. So according to the American Health Information Management Association, AHIMA, information management is the generation, collection, organization, validation, analysis, storage, and integration of data, as well as the dissemination, communication, presentation, utilization, transmission, and safeguarding of the information. So if the type of information were health, then health information management would entail acquisition, organization, storage, retrieval, and dissemination of health information from a multitude of places. The purpose is ensuring availability, accuracy, and protection of health information that is needed by a variety of individuals in the delivery of healthcare services and to support decision-making activities. An example of information management would be deploying a content or a document management system. The next definition in the series of terms closely related to health information management and informatics is information system or technology. AHIMA defines information system as an automated system that uses computer hardware and software to record, manipulate, store, recover, and disseminate data. That is, it's a system that receives and processes input and provides output. And this term is often used interchangeably with information technology, or IT. When you think of information technology, some things that should come into mind are computer networks, database and system administration, security, and programming. Therefore, information technology could be used in the management of information. Connecting information technology to health, you can consider the following definition by the Office of the National Coordinator for Health Information, and they define health information technology, or HIT, as the application of information processing involving both computer hardware and software that deals with the storage, retrieval, sharing, and use of healthcare information, data, and knowledge for communication and decision making. An example of health information technology would be administrative and financial systems that may facilitate billing, accounting, and other administrative tasks. Now, why is it important to study informatics? To really gain an understanding of the individuals that are involved with informatics applications and the type of work that they do, let's settle on what the practice of healthcare informatics actually is. And we discussed some of this, I introduced it in the previous slide. But healthcare is obviously information intensive. You can't have a proper healthcare appointment or have access to healthcare without any kind of information, right? So if you have an appointment with your primary care provider, you are going to have lab results and test results and your electronic medical record that has your prior medical history. So everything is really information intensive. Obviously, interprofessional collaboration and communication are key. It's essential for care coordination to promote safe patient care. You want your physician, your cardiologist, to be communicating with your speech pathologist or your physical therapist, the pharmacists, for example. So it really is a collaboration. Informatics tools really help us to collect, integrate, and manage clinical information. Now, the practice of informatics most generally requires the presence of two components. Number one, a set of skills and methodologic tools that are derived from knowledge of the basic informational and computing sciences. And two, knowledge, experience, and activity in one or more application domains. So for example, many who practice informatics have training in the subject of human-computer interactions, an application domain covering how people use computers and how to design computer systems that help people use them more effectively. In order to gain a better understanding of informatics, one needs to learn the differences between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Now, research shows that data, information, and knowledge were central to informatics. And this is often called the DIKW, the Data, Information, Knowledge, and Wisdom Paradigm. Now, data are simple symbols, isolated facts, and measurements. Now, these are the raw facts. When such data are processed and they're put into a context and combined with a structure, information emerges. Now, this is data that's been interpreted for meaning. Information is what provides the answers to the who, what, when, and where. When information is given meaning by interpreting it, that's the application of data, and information becomes knowledge. Knowledge answers the how questions. Finally, wisdom is evaluated understanding, and it answers the why questions. So central to informatics is the processing of data so that it becomes meaningful. So given the definition of the practice of informatics, who's involved in this field of study? Now, these are the practitioners of informatics. These can be the surgery schedulers, the nurses, the therapists, the physicians, the providers, the chief medical informatics officer, for example. Members of the team vary in the types of skills, roles, and responsibilities, which in turn are tied to their level of education and experience that's gained through stages of career progression. So obviously that's why all of you are here, to increase your skills, but also your level of education to possibly move into these types of roles. So for example, the team might consist of individuals with an associate's degree whose role is a clinical data analyst. Individuals with a bachelor's degree, their role may be research, as a research and development scientist. Individual with a master's degree may take on the role of nursing informatics officer. And an individual with a doctorate, their role may be a chief medical informatics officer. So health informaticians use information technology to advance cost-effective care, high-quality care, and patient safety. Therefore, no matter their level of education or experience, all health informaticians need to know how to efficiently and responsibly use information and communication technology. However, a professional with a bachelor's degree right out of school may use information differently compared to a professional with the same degree who's been in the field for a decade or more. Likewise, a professional with a 2-year degree uses information differently compared to a professional with a master's degree. So what are some of the environments where health informaticians work? They're always in great demand and may work in many different environments, including colleges and universities, research facilities, healthcare delivery organizations, local, state, and federal government agencies, medical software firms, medical information service companies, and other private industries such as insurance or medical device companies, to name a few. Now, I'm just briefly going to discuss some roles for health informatics professionals in the first three environments that I listed here on this slide. So a role for a health informatician working in colleges and universities may be that of a professor, where the focus is on teaching and research. Health informaticians with an academic role have two main responsibilities, and that is to educate those interested in the field of health informatics, and also to conduct research to improve the acquisition, storage, retrieval, representation, and use of information in health. While a health informatician working in a college or university may conduct research to improve the acquisition of health information and its use, there's also research roles outside of the academic setting. So research facilities hire health informaticians to focus on informatics applications in clinical and translational research for the purpose of advancing medical science and public health. Now, other responsibilities for researchers may include conducting research in informatics in order to expand the scope of the discipline of health informatics, to research and evaluate new regions or domains in health informatics, and to lead interdisciplinary teams in the search for solutions to health informatics problems. Now, the healthcare delivery role for clinical personnel focuses on the patient care domain. These individuals combine the knowledge of computer science, of information science, of cognitive science, and clinical science to assist in the management and processing of clinical data, information, and knowledge to support clinical practice. So we are knowledge managers, capturing and processing collective expertise and distributing it where it can create the largest benefit. We are knowledge developers or generators, changing and evolving knowledge based on the tasks at hand and information available. Knowledge must also be viable. Knowledge viability refers to applications, mostly technology-based, that offer easy, accessible, accurate, and timely information obtained from a variety of resources and methods, and presented in a manner as to provide us with the necessary elements to generate new knowledge. All right, so a quick look into Chapter 2. Now let's start real quick about talking about data and information. I know we just covered this a few minutes ago, but remember that data are the raw facts and information is the processed data that has meaning. So it's data that is processed using knowledge. So to be valuable or meaningful, information must be accessible, accurate, timely, complete, cost-effective, flexible, reliable, relevant, simple, verifiable, and secure. Data integrity refers to whole, complete, correct, and consistent data. Now, data integrity or data can be compromised through human error, through viruses, worms, other bugs, hardware failures, or crashes, transmission errors, or hackers entering the system. If any of you have had the misfortune of your computer being compromised somehow, a hacker getting into your email, you know how frustrating it could be just with your personal email account, for example. Now, imagine that on a grander scheme if data of a major hospital organization was to be compromised. High-quality data is data that are relevant and that accurately represent their corresponding concepts. Now, data is considered dirty when there are errors in the database, such as duplicate, incomplete, or outdated records. The data that we process into information must be of high quality, and integrity to create meaning to inform our assessments and decision making. Now, characteristics of valuable quality information include data that is accessible, that has accessibility, security, timeliness, accuracy, relevancy, completeness, flexibility, reliability, objectivity, utility, transparency, verifiability, and reproducibility. Information science is a science of information, studying the application and usage of information and knowledge in organizations, and the interfacings or interaction between people, organizations, and information systems. Information science is what enables the processing of information. It's a multidisciplinary science that involves aspects from computer science, cognitive science, social science, communication science, and library science. Deals with obtaining, gathering, organizing, manipulating, managing, storing, retrieving, recapturing, disposing of, distributing, or broadcasting information. Information science studies everything that deals with information and can be defined as the study of information systems. It originated as a subdiscipline of computer science in an attempt to understand and rationalize the management of technology within organizations. Information processing is the conversion of latent information into manifest information. So what does that mean? Well, latent information is that which is not yet realized or apparent, while manifest information is obvious or clearly apparent. Information science and computational tools are extremely important in enabling the process of data, information, and knowledge in healthcare. Information systems or otherwise known as IS, are combinations of hardware, software, and telecommunications networks that people build and use to collect, create, and distribute useful data, typically in organizational settings. Can be manually based, but for the purposes of this text, the term refers to computer-based information systems. It's designed for specific purposes within organizations, acquires data or inputs. Information systems processes data that consist of the retrieval, analysis, or synthesis of data, disseminates or outputs in the form of reports, documents, summaries, alerts, prompts, and or outcomes, and provides for responses or feedback. It's capable of disseminating, providing feedback, and adjusting the data and information based on dynamic processes, and this is what sets them apart. Information systems should be a user-friendly entity that provides the right information at the right time and in the right place. So in summary, organizations are recognizing that their most precious asset is their information. And this is represented in their employees, the experience, competence, or know-how, and innovative or novel approaches, all of which are dependent on a robust information network that encompasses the information technology infrastructure. So moving on to Chapter 3, the discipline of computer science is introduced through a focus on computers and the hardware and software that makes up these evolving systems. Computer science obviously offers extremely valuable tools that can facilitate the acquisition and manipulation of data and information by healthcare professionals who then synthesize these into an evolving knowledge and wisdom base. Computers accept data input via a variety of devices, process data through logical and arithmetic rendering. It stores the data in memory components and output data and information to the user. Computer technology has ushered in what has been called the information age, an age when data, information, and knowledge are both accessible and able to be manipulated by more people than ever before in history. Now, essentially, obviously, a computer is an electronic information processing machine. It serves as a tool to manipulate data and information. Health informatics is really a discipline at the intersection of information science that we discussed in Chapter 2, and healthcare as we discussed in Chapter 1, and now we're discussing computer science here in Chapter 3. It concerns with the resources, devices, and methods that are required for optimizing the acquisition, storage, retrieval, and use of information in health and biomedicine. Health informatics tools include computers, as we're discussing now, clinical guidelines, formal medical terminologies, and information and communication systems. It's applied to every area of healthcare, the areas of nursing, clinical care, dentistry, pharmacy, public health, occupational therapy, and medical and biomedical research. So what is the relationship of computer science to knowledge, and what's the use of information technology in medical education? Well, with the development in IT, there's been a significant change in medical education all over the world. Now, scholars and researchers are just beginning to understand the effect that computer systems, architecture, applications, and processes have on the potential for knowledge acquisition and development. The changes that are emerging is that the majority of medical students and other healthcare professional students, such as yourselves, are computer literate these days. There's new information on medical topics that's readily accessible via the internet and handheld computers such as PDAs, tablets, those sorts of devices, portable devices. Information technology can assist education in various ways, such as in college networks and the internet, computer-assisted learning, virtual reality. All of you right now are in a distance learning course. Medical schools, nursing schools, these professional schools have human patient simulators, and those are just a couple examples. Rapid communication can be established with the help of emails and course details, handouts, and feedback that can be circulated easily. Many schools use programs such as us here at CBU, Blackboard, or a centralized student service to underline and coordinate their courses. Now, such programs allow speedy access to information and quick turnaround of evaluation and messaging. Similarly, the internet provides opportunities to gain up-to-date information on different aspects of health and disease, and to discuss with fellow colleagues in different continents via internet conferencing. Now, the field of computer science is one of the fastest growing disciplines as a discipline itself, and then also in healthcare, in the healthcare sector. Information technology has been obviously very helpful to the healthcare sector. And one example of a significant advancement that IT has provided to hospitals is the development of electronic medical records, and we'll be discussing EMRs in a little bit more detail in future chapters. Now, this technology can convert medical information into a single database. So not only does this technology reduce paper costs, it allows healthcare providers to access pertinent patient information such as medical history, medications, and insurance information with just the click of a mouse. Drug prescribing patterns of individual clinicians can be evaluated and compared to established standards. In fact, computer-based clinical support as part of an EMR has shown to improve physician performance and patient outcomes. So reducing medical errors, which is possible more often now with advances in computer science and technology, has become a priority all over the world. Computers have developed in speed, accuracy, and efficiency, yet cost and physical size have decreased. Think of the desktop computers and how much space they used to take, and now it seems that laptops and computers are just decreasing in size, in the palm of your hands even. Productivity, creativity, and communication. Software tools can enable healthcare professionals to work with computers to further foster knowledge acquisition and development. And now there's such wide access to vast stores of information and knowledge that's shared by others that facilitates the emergence of wisdom in users. And this can be applied to our disciplines in meaningful and creative ways. It's imperative that healthcare professionals become discerning yet skilled users of computer technology in order to apply the principles of health informatics to practice and to contribute to the profession's ever-growing body of knowledge. So thanks for sticking with me through these first few chapters in our textbook. Again, I will keep trying to keep our lectures condensed, just providing some additional information that I feel will be really important to you all. Thanks for sticking out with me for the first week, and looking forward to the rest of the course together. And as always, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns on the assignments, course topics. I'm always here for you. Have a great week, everyone.